What is up, everybody, and welcome to another NFL prediction video. This video will be for week 15 of the NFL season. Week 15 already. As you can see above me, our new record is 130-78. We had a very bad last week, 5-9. Our parlay lost. 5-9 is not great. We'll go through some of the games. Obviously the Eagles lost again to the Chargers. 3 losses in a row. If you know me, I'm an Eagles fan, so I gotta go on a little bit of a rant to start the video. That game, I was at work for most of it, so I missed a lot of it, but I got home just in time to watch the Eagles go down the field in overtime, and Jalen Hurts throw that interception. That interception was completely Jalen Hurts' fault. He did not need to force that pass, but also we could have ran the ball. It was first down. Should have just ran the ball. But anyways, I won't make this whole video about the Eagles. We'll get into that when I get to the Eagles game. But let's start off tonight. We have Falcons versus Bucks. I'm going to go Bucks. The Bucks started off really hot. They started off as one of the teams. Oh yeah, by the way, sorry if you hear a baby in the background. I have one behind me right now as I'm making this. That's why this video is going to be kind of quick also. So you're also going to hear that in the background. I'm going to go with the Bucks. The Bucks started off really good this year. Then as the season went on, they kind of, haven't been as good. Baker did get hurt, so that could be one of the reasons. But let's move on. Browns versus Bears. I'm going to go with the Bears. I picked them to beat the Packers last week just because I thought with the Bears momentum that they had, they've been on kind of a winning streak that they would pull out the win, but they did not. But I do think they'll be able to beat the Browns. Cardinals versus the Texans. I'm going to go with the Texans. CJ Stroud is back. Looking really good. Texans look really good. Cardinals are dealing with some stuff right now. They're not even playing Kyler Murray. He's probably done with them. So, Washington versus the Giants. I'm going to go with the Giants because Jaden Daniels is not starting once again. This game could go either way. Both teams suck. So, but I'm going to go with the Giants. Raiders versus Eagles. I gotta go with the Eagles, but let me say this. If the Eagles lose this game to the Raiders, first of all, I'm pretty sure Geno Smith isn't even playing. I think it's Kenny Pickett, who used to play on the Eagles, played a couple games for us. If they lose this game to the Raiders, then they need to fire... First of all, they need to fire Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, and they need to fire Nick Sirianni, because if they somehow come out and lose to the Raiders, then something's wrong, and they need to do something. I will say this. A lot of people are saying, oh, bench Jalen Hurts. I see a lot of people saying bench Jalen Hurts. Do not bench Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not... Last week was a bad game. It happens. Quarterbacks have bad games sometimes. Yes, Jalen did miss a lot of throws, make a lot of bad decisions, but there was also dropped passes. There was tipped passes. It was not all on Jalen Hurts. I don't understand people's hate for Jalen Hurts. I really don't. And I'm gonna compare him to Josh Allen. Josh Allen has a terrible game and nobody says anything. Nobody says anything. And Jalen Hurts has one bad game the whole season after throwing 2 interceptions all year. He throws 4 in one. I get 4 interceptions in a game is crazy. But man, he has one bad game this season, and people just go off and say, oh, bench him, bench him, bench him. First of all, A.J. Brown had a touchdown that he dropped, which would have won the game. It was a drop. That last interception that he threw in overtime, that was a very bad decision. If he didn't throw that ball, I think we would have scored and won. It happens, man. But if they do lose this game, then I will say something needs to happen. And I don't think they should. I'm not saying I want Nick Sirianni fired. I think that if they do lose, they'll fire Kevin Patullo. It depends on how the offense looks, obviously. But this game should be a blowout. This game should not even be close. The Eagles need to come out and just blow the Raiders out just to get back on track. They need to win this game. If they lose this game, then something's got to happen. But I'm gonna go with the Eagles. If they lose this game, I'm gonna come back on here next week and I might make even I might even make a separate video just going off on them just to get it off my chest. But let's move on from that. Jets versus the Jaguars. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. That one's easy. Baltimore versus the Bengals. I seen earlier. I read something where Joe Burrow's talking about retiring. I'm like, this is gonna be a whole new another Andrew Luck situation, and it's kind of sad because he's dealt with a lot of injuries through his career. He hasn't. I mean, they made the Super Bowl the 1 year, but they lost. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries. I think that's having a toll on him. And yeah, it's sad, but this game could go either way. This is one of the hard ones to pick this week. It should be easy, but it's not because both teams are underperforming. But with that being said, I'm actually gonna go with the Bengals to pick up the win. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bengals to pick up the win over the Ravens. I just have a feeling they're gonna come out and win. They're in Cincinnati. Sorry about the noise again. I apologize. We got the Chargers versus the Chiefs. I'm actually gonna go with the Chargers. I've been picking the Chiefs thinking they were gonna get back on track, and they still keep losing. So next, we probably got the game of the week right here. We have Buffalo versus the Patriots, and this will be a real test for the Patriots to see how good they actually are. I think they're the #1 seed in the AFC right now, which is kind of crazy. But I am actually gonna go with the Patriots to pick up the win over Buffalo. I can't believe I'm saying that because in years past I would never say that, but just the way the Patriots look this year and the way Buffalo looks this year, I gotta go with the Patriots, man. If it wasn't for the 2 crazy interceptions back to back last week, the Bills would have lost to the Bengals. So next we got the Colts at Seattle. I'm gonna go Seattle. I don't think Phillip Rivers is gonna be starting for the Colts. I think it's too early. But yeah, that's crazy. First of all, them signing Phillip Rivers. Green Bay Packers versus the Broncos. I'm gonna go with the Broncos. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Broncos. That game isn't gonna be another good game. I could see that going either way. Lions versus Rams. Another really good game. I'm gonna go with the Rams. Jared Goff versus Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford facing his old team. Jared Goff facing his old team. I'm gonna go with the Rams to beat the Lions. The Lions are another team who's been underperforming this year, in my opinion. We got the Carolina Panthers versus the Saints. I'm going to go with the Panthers. Panthers are actually not looking too bad this year. Titans versus 49ers. I'm going to go 49ers. That one's an easy one. Vikings versus the Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Dolphins versus Steelers. I'm going to go with the Steelers. So there you have it. Those are my picks for this week. Let's go through the parlay. Obviously, my parlay did not hit last week. Yeah, it is what it is, you know. Yeah, so win some, you lose some. Let's do 5 this week. Let's go Bears over Browns. Let's go Eagles over Raiders. I know that's stupid to do because they've lost. Yeah, but I'm gonna do it. Let's go Jags over Jets. Let's go. Let's go Seattle over the Colts, and let's go Niners over Titans. All right, that's my picks for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. Again, I'm sorry for the noise in the background. But you know, that's what happens when you babysit. You have to deal with it. So you guys do too. But like I said, thank you for watching. Hopefully we do good this week. A lot better than last week. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.